Hey ambitious professionals, it's Linda Rayner of lindarayner.com, guiding you to a career and life you'll truly enjoy. Now, if you are someone who is currently in a situation where you feel as though others are constantly taking advantage of you, you feel like a doormat sometimes, and you find yourself always putting yourself last in every situation, then this video is for you. I'm going to share with you my 3 tips on how to officially end this unhealthy way of living so that you can become more confident and be in a situation where no one can take advantage of you any longer. So stay tuned. Now, as a career strategist, I've had the ability to help numerous corporate ambitious professionals just like you to land their dream job offers. And if this is something that you're interested in learning more about, I can give you details about my free resources as well as about how to work with me at the end of this video. If you're feeling as though you're being taken advantage of, this is a huge issue that you need to address, especially if it's happening to you at work. For example, I once had a client who was smart, capable, she knew her stuff, she had strong technical expertise, and at her company, anytime that there was a little issue that came up or there was an additional random assignment that needed to be done, her managers and even coworkers would simply flock to her and ask her to get it done. And the thing about it was that she would do it. She would do it because she felt, well, they're relying upon me. They know that I have the right experience and expertise to do this, and hopefully me taking on all of these tasks for all these other people will eventually lead to further career growth and promotion opportunities. And guess what happened? Months went by, years went by, and promotions also went by. They came and went, and they were never offered to her. So why do you think that's the case? The reason for that is because when you allow yourself to be taken advantage of, at work for example, what can happen is that it can create a certain image of who you are to the rest of your team and to the rest of the company. You might be seen as someone, yes, who's very good at her job or his job. You're very good at doing the tasks, but you are simply just that. You're just a doer. You're not someone who goes above and beyond because you simply just do what you're told. That is the downfall and the downside to being someone who allows others to take advantage of them. So to go full circle, if you are someone who feels that you need to do things to make other people happy, you need to put other people's needs ahead of your own, and that you need to put yourself last, that is what you need to change, my friend. So here are my 3 tips on how to overcome feeling taken advantage of by others at work. Tip number 1, show them how to do it rather than doing it yourself. This first tip is so important because it is key. What you need to understand is that when you are in a position where you're teaching others how to do something rather than just doing it for them, you are rewarded with respect. Because what happens is when you can empower others, you teach others, you instruct others, you give them skills that they didn't have before, they're able to respect you more, and on top of that, they know that they can't just ask you to just do it for them. On the other hand, if someone asks you to do something because they don't know how to do it, and you just do it for them, then that same level of respect isn't there because they feel then, in that sense, that they're at a higher level and that you're just going to do what they ask you to do. But if instead they don't know how to do something and you become the advisor and the teacher and the guide in this sense, then you are much more likely to be seen as someone who is respected and who is knowledgeable in the area of expertise that you have. So the next time that your coworker comes to you and says, "Hey, I don't know how to do this, can you do it for me?" Instead of you saying, "Sure, I'll do it for you," you're going to say, "How about I show you how?" Tip number 2 is to communicate your boundaries and priorities. So what happens a lot of the time if you find yourself being taken advantage of is that you find yourself agreeing to take on others' work silently. You just give a simple head nod and all of a sudden you have 10 more tasks that you didn't have the day before. If this is you, it means you're not speaking up or communicating enough. So if you find that your manager or boss is constantly giving you item after item after item to work on, instead of silently saying yes and taking it on, you are going to now communicate what your limits are. So what you can say is, sure, I can do that for you, but just so you're aware, I'm also working on task A, B, and C, which you've asked me to complete. If I take on task D, it'll conflict with my ability to complete task C on time. So what do you suggest I do about task C? Should I speak to someone else to get task C done, or should we move the deadline for task C? This framework of answering to your boss and communicating your boundaries to your boss is extremely helpful, not just for you, but for your boss and manager as well, to understand what's on your plate. You're never going to say, no, I'm not going to do that task, because of course you just have to do it. But you have to be realistic about it, and you have to let others know that you're being realistic as well. And what's going to happen most likely is that your boss or manager is going to say, okay, let's come up with a plan on how you complete task A, B, C, and D completely done in the right time frame, or they'll come up with an alternative plan to help you get things done. That's all it takes, is communicating your boundaries, communicating what's on your plate, communicating your limits, and being realistic about that. You don't have to feel scared about saying that you won't be able to get things done in time if you're just upfront about it and transparent about it. It shows that you know how to prioritize and you have the confidence to communicate your priorities. And finally, tip number 3 to not be taken advantage of by others at work is to simply say no. Now, typically, this only really applies for anyone who is not your direct manager or your manager's manager. Basically, anyone who you are not reporting into, you have the opportunity to say no to them. When you get asked to do something that is outside of what you're normally supposed to do, you need to evaluate for yourself whether it's worth it for you to do that. You have to be realistic and ask yourself, is this going to benefit me? Is it going to help me achieve my goals or the goals of the team and the organization? Is it going to help me with my well-being in some sense, or my career? Because if it's only benefiting the person that you are doing it for, and that person isn't your direct boss or boss's boss, then you really want to consider saying no in that case, because it's not helping you, it's just helping them. And that's not fair. Now, mind you, I have nothing against being helpful to your coworkers and to people you work with, but if you are feeling taken advantage of, it probably means that you have an overloaded plate. So this is one way, and it is the way, to get rid of unnecessary items on your plate. So there you have it. Those are my 3 tips on how to help you to hopefully feel more empowered and stop others from taking advantage of you at work. Now, if you're someone who is currently looking for a new job, maybe because you feel overwhelmed and being taken advantage of, and you want to find a newer, better opportunity for yourself, but you're struggling with the interviews or getting interviews, and you realize that you need more help, then feel free to check out my resources. I have my free resume mastery workshop. The link is in the box below. I also have my free interview strategy workshop, which is new and available for you as well. And then I also have my one-on-one career coaching program called Stand Out Get Hired. You can visit my website. It's lindarainer.com/standoutgethired. Read through the page, fill in the application form, and if it feels as though we are a potential match to working together, then one of my team members will be reaching out to you directly. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share this with your friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.